G'day YouTube, morning YouTube. It's a daily dose of me. It's Monday, day off work, and I'm up in the Tablelands. I'm in this park. It's on the top of a bit of a hill up here, which overlooks, as you can see behind me, the Tablelands, and it's an agricultural area. North of Cairns. Probably it took me about an hour and a half to get up here today. We went a different route that we usually take, because we wanted to do a few things and check out a few things. So we decided to stop here for something to eat. Bought something to eat and stop here. So today, yeah, talking about eating, I want to talk about diet. Something I haven't mentioned, and I've never been one to diet, but on this vlog, I'm going to talk about Keto Carnivore diet and my experience on it, because I've only ever been on a diet once in my life. And that was at the beginning of the year. Maybe it was that New Year's resolution thing that you're going to lose weight. So on from the 1st of January this year, I decided to try it out, see where it would lead me. Not that I was morbidly obese, far from it, but I wanted to try and drop 8 or so kilos, try and get down to my weight of when I was in my late 20s to see if that was achievable. And without beating around the bush, yeah, it is achievable. I did lose 8 to 9 kilos, so I went from 88 to about 79, and I'm about 80 at the moment. I did that diet, the Keto Carnivore diet, from the 1st of January to about to virtually the end of May. So yeah, you're roughly looking at the 5-month period from the first week of June. I introduced bread back into my diet. So the Keto Carnivore diet does work. You will lose weight, but there's a few tricks you got to play with it. And one of those tricks, I also did fasting. So I fasted for 16 hours a day, at least 6 days a week, and on the 7th was about 14 hours. Plus I gave up hard cardio type of activity and only did walking, but I'd walk 5Ks just at least 5 days a week, and plus just some body weight work, i.e. calisthenics. So within a month or 6 weeks, I could feel it. Everything was getting loose. My shorts, my trousers, shirts were loose, and I could see how it was working quite quickly. But what's my take on it? So my take on the Keto Carnivore diet is, like any diet, although it's been my first experience being on diet, it's quite restrictive, and long term it would be a little bit harder. I mean, I only had a goal of going for 5 to 6 months to get to where I wanted to be, which I did. I mean, although I was quite, well, I'll put it this way, I followed it pretty much to the T in a sense, and the results showed. But yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. I mean, it's quite, I think, in a sense, it's a wee bit restrictive if you're a rice eating person or a pasta eating person, ice cream, things like that. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for you. And if you've done diets before, you understand that anyway. The diets can be very, very difficult. And I found, after that 5 months of just eating, high fat, low carb, the only thing I probably kept was the beer, and that was only on the weekend. So I did drink a few beers on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, but in general, there was no bread, no rice, no pasta, no cakes, no cookies, and the weight drops off. It really does. So the results are good. You got to be tough. You got to tough it out, and you got to go without things that you may really love, like the things I've already mentioned, like cakes, for example, or ice cream. And that's why it makes it quite difficult for people to do or to stay on that diet. And it's the only time I've really ever dieted. Would I do it again? Well, if I put on a lot of weight, I guess I would. Would I advise it? Yeah, probably would. I think I would advise it to do it. I don't think although it's restrictive, it's not impossible, but quite doable, and the results are great. I think it's the first time since I've been in my late 20s I could see my abs first time, so it'd been a long time since I could see my abs, and I was able to do that. I don't have any before. I actually do, but I'm not going to put those up because I'll probably regret it years to come. It'd be pretty cringe-worthy, I reckon, especially at my age. So yeah, and I think with diet, with losing weight, it definitely brings you into a happier state. That's for sure. I think it's well worth it, especially if you are carrying too many pounds. You want to look at the Keto Carnivore diet. Like anything, it's restrictive, especially if you're a bit of a foodie. But I feel that it was something that I'd probably encourage other people to try it if they really need to try it, because you do get the results. I'll just turn this around and I'll show you where I'm at. And this is a visitor center here up on top of the hill. They hire this place out. It's actually it's a great location. I'm just panning around, just get a bit higher. And as you can see, out that way, over there, the direction I'm pointing it in, if you go probably about 100 k's, 150 k's, you get to Outback Queensland. So this is the starting point to get out to Outback Queensland. And as I said, this is a huge agriculture area. It's a farmland area. The business I work for does have a business up here, and I just went to check it out. It's only a new one. And maybe in the future, I'm going to relocate up here, but it won't be till next year. I always wanted to live in the farming area, and this is probably maybe the chance. We'll see what happens. Obviously I'm not going to commit to that at the moment, but we'll see where that leads to. Just come back. Okay, so yeah, diet, happiness. Does it bring you happiness? Well, you look in the mirror and you lost a lot of weight. It's good for your health. It's great for your blood work, things like that. I'm not going to get right down deep into the rabbit hole. I'm not here to be a diet guru. I just know I did it. I know it works. People who know me know I did it, and they've seen the results. I do eat bread. I eat sourdough bread. I don't eat rice. I don't eat pasta. I'm just going to keep off that, see how long I can last off that, see where it goes, and see if I can maintain. It's August now, and I've only put 1 kilo on since I stopped it, but I know it only takes a kilo or two to gain. So, but I am exercising still. I'm back into the body weights, calisthenics. I don't get into the weights, although I should. I know I should, but I can't be asked, so to speak, at this time in my life. But I probably will need to, especially as you get on a bit. It is beneficial to do that. But yeah, happiness and diet, not sure if they go hand in hand with for everyone. I know it's a big industry, and people sell you dreams. A lot of them are broken dreams, and you have to be very, very mentally tough to stay on those diets. So I've got an insight of how people do it a little bit tough, although I didn't do it tough because I followed it with the high fat. You're always satiated. I never felt hungry. That was a good thing, and that's one of the reasons I went for that, because you actually never feel hungry on that diet. Well, I didn't anyway. In fact, I sort of didn't have to eat a lot. And a lot of people say it's calorie restriction or restricted. Maybe that's the case, but I don't feel it was. Maybe I was doing a little bit differently, and I think the combination, just to summarize this and blow this one up, the combination of this diet of doing the fasting 16 hours a day, the walking, do not do high intensity exercise, you'll get hungry and you'll be famished and you'll eat more. So the low intensity, long walks, body weight exercises for that period of time I've already mentioned, brought me great results. And I would recommend people who are struggling with weight, which is bringing them in an unhappy state, to give it a crack and give it a try and commit to it for at least 3 months, and you will see the weight drop off. It does work. It's not bullshit, it works. And I'm just going to spin around and tablelands and blow this one up. Anyway, until next time, peace out.